Brought to you by Express Care Health and Skin Center. Get in, get out, get better.
Welcome back to Healthy Living. You probably were told when you were a kid to drink your milk to have strong bones. For some, their bones become weak and brittle, and bending over or simply coughing can cause a fracture. Brittle bones is also known as osteoporosis, and it affects men and women of all races, but Caucasian and Asian women, especially those that are past menopause, are at higher risk. Here to tell us more about osteoporosis and what you can do to strengthen your bones is Express Care's Dr. Jitka Lom. Thanks, Doc.
Hi.
What is osteoporosis and how do you get it?
Well, it's amazing, Mindy. Your bones are a living organ that are constantly in a state of turnover. So you have little cells there that are always breaking down your bones and another bunch of little cells that are building them up, and you're constantly having a remodeling process happening. So every 7 years you have a completely new skeleton. And there's a balance of building up and breaking down. When you're a child, of course, there's more buildup. And then as you get older, there's an imbalance that occurs in some people called osteoporosis, where those breakdown cells are chewing up the bone a little bit more than the build-up cells can keep up with. And so as a result, the bones get very frail and fragile and can break easily. And we call that osteoporosis.
Okay. Now, what are the symptoms for people that may not know, that think, oh, maybe I just have back problems?
Right. So many times it's a silent disease until somebody falls down and breaks their bone or breaks their hip. But things that can come up before that are pain, low back pain in particular, or the hunchback up top, feeling weak, feeling light, in general pain. Yeah.
Okay. And is it just in your back, or osteoporosis can affect your bones anywhere?
All of your bones, especially the weight-bearing bones, of the long bones, meaning of the hip, and the back, the spine.
Okay. Now, why are some people more prone than others?
Well, there you have hereditary factors and you have nutritional factors, as you mentioned, in childhood. So malnourishment in childhood has that effect later on down the road, because you actually build up your skeleton, your bone bank, from age 0 up to about 25 years of age. You're still building bone, and then after that the decline begins, and you're using up more bone than you're building in general from that age on. So it's really important for our young children to eat their calcium and have great bone strength.
So is the old adage true then that drinking milk will prevent it, or at least help with the strengthening of bones, help you have strong bones?
Right. Eating calcium is very helpful. It can be in the form of milk, or it can be in the form of other things such as leafy green vegetables and salmon and supplements. That would be fine. But getting enough calcium into your system is really important. And one of the things that happens a lot in childhood is kids drinking soda, and the phosphorus in the soda actually leaches calcium out of your bones, so silently you're taking calcium away. So that's another great reason to stop drinking soda.
All right, well, that's why my kids aren't allowed to drink soda.
Yeah.
What serious complications can occur as a result of osteoporosis?
Well, the worst is, as most people know, is a hip fracture, an elderly person falling down, breaking their hip, and having hospitalization and pneumonia and death. It's a common cause of death in elderly. But pain and disability from that, recurrent, meaning frequent fractures, broken bones, those are the main things.
Okay. Are there dietary supplements, and you did mention that someone can take to strengthen their bones on a regular basis? I mean, maybe those of us who are later on in life that, you know, we didn't have all these things when we were kids and we weren't even thinking about it, and so now is it too late to reverse it by maybe taking supplements?
No, it's really, really important. And the three most important supplements are calcium, your magnesium, which helps the calcium work better, and then vitamin D. And vitamin D is really important. It's actually deficient in about 25% of adult Americans have about a quarter of the population is low on vitamin D. And we all know that you get vitamin D from the sun, but actually you don't get enough from the sun, so you need to get it through your dietary factors, fish oils, and milk that is fortified, foods that are fortified with vitamin D, or plain supplements. So you can take calcium, magnesium, and a vitamin D supplement to strengthen your bones at any age.
Is it possible to have too much calcium?
It is possible. There are certain diseases that make that happen naturally, or if you're overdoing it on the Tums. That is possible. So the amount for an adult is usually 1,200 or 1,200 milligrams per day for an average healthy woman.
Now, are there certain exercises someone can do to strengthen their bones? I mean, we think about strengthening your muscles, getting rid of fat, but you don't really think about the bones that are underneath.
That's right. Well, bones get strong when they're used, and the way they're used is if they're pounded. So weight-bearing exercise is really, really important. That means walking, running, playing sports, soccer or basketball or whatever, where you're actually weight-bearing. So swimming is not a good exercise for osteoporosis or to build up your bone strength, or for example, elliptical or something where you're not really exerting yourself. So weight-bearing exercise is very important.
So something more physical.
More physical.
So
yeah.
all
Zumba,
exercise
Zumba,
is good. And in my own home, of course. How does one's diet affect osteoporosis, or does it have any effect at all?
It has a huge effect, and we just talked about the calcium intake and also not drinking soda, and then lots of fruits and vegetables, again helping your overall bone health, and avoiding highly processed foods. Yeah.
Okay. Any other tips that you have out there for people? Let's talk about people who have osteoporosis. What can they do to manage and try to prevent the hip fractures and things like that that can be more debilitating for them?
Sure. Well, there are medications that have been developed that can strengthen your bones. You might have seen on TV Boniva or Fosamax. These are medicines that help the bones become stronger. And then, of course, taking your supplements, as we mentioned. Cutting back on alcohol or no alcohol and no smoking is very important for our bone health also. So those are the main things, along with exercise.
All right, well, we've got to take a break, but when Healthy Living returns, Doc will be answering your viewer questions. Stay with us.